All right, recording. This is a video for my new YouTube channel. What possessed me to do a YouTube channel? Probably just narcissism. I'm not really sure exactly how to go about doing this. I'm not really good with technology. I'm a little fearful of YouTubers and the YouTube community and putting myself out there and exposing myself. I am going to use a alter ego pseudonym. My name will be Gurley Vines because I am a girly man. No, I like that name. It sounds poetic. Gurley is spelled Gurley, like Hurley, and Lost. And I don't know. I am kind of like I'm not really a a big guy, and I can be effeminate. And I'm gonna hold my head up. I'm not looking down my nose at the YouTube community. I'm doing it to keep the glare out of my glasses because I have a very crude system and set up in place right now, and I'm using the camera on my cheap laptop, and I have the lights off in the spare room in my apartment, and yeah, got a little backlighting going. I got 2 candles lit. It's just very, very crude. And what I'm going to talk about, the format of this channel will be to read, to basically have a stream of consciousness thought process from 2 tarot cards that I draw. I'm going to do it on a daily basis and see if I can come to any conclusions. It's going to be kind of like a diary where I have an audience with feedback. I'm sure I will possibly attract people that also are into tarot and magic and self-exploration and that kind of stuff. So, without further ado, I'm going to draw 2 cards from the Thoth Tarot deck. This is the Ace of Pentacles right here. This is a very popular deck. It was developed by Aleister Crowley and Lady Frida Harris. Aleister Crowley authored it. Lady Frida Harris did the designs. The artwork is beautiful. In my opinion, it's one of the best tarot decks out there. As I get older, some of the really negative connotations that come with a Thoth tarot deck, I sort of veer away from because I just get more and more sensitive. In my old age, there's actually another tarot deck called the Patch Tarot, which I really enjoy. It's kind of it is very cartoonish. But the symbolism is very also cartoonish, but it's very specific and straightforward. And I think that it pulls from the Thoth Tarot and the Rider-Waite Tarot and maybe some other traditions, I'm not sure. And mushes it all together and comes to some pretty cool conclusions regarding that symbol system. So anyways, the first 2 cards that I'm going to pull, Mr. Gurley Vines, I will refer to myself in 3rd person as any true narcissist. I call myself that. I'm not sure if I am one just because I'm recording myself. But, if you get in a habit of recording yourself, and I'm sure a lot of people that record themselves then watch themselves and then put it out for everybody to see. They think they're cool enough for people to watch, and I'm not sure of that. I'm not sure if anybody's going to want to watch this, but we'll see. eventually, hey, maybe I can get some people to sponsor me. You know, I got like 1 million viewers. I don't know how this works. We're just gonna see. I'm gonna flip the cards and we'll see what happens. You know, I could flourish and end up with the 6 of Wands type scenario, or the universe type scenario, or as it's called, the world, where fate deals me great fortune and victory in my endeavors, or in my endeavor here to record myself talking to myself, basically. But I'm talking to you guys. To you YouTubers out there, I'm talking to you because you are awesome, even though I don't know you. I'm sure you are a lot of pretty awesome people. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle these cards, and we'll see where it lands. And also, a little disclaimer: I don't believe in woo. I don't believe that God is, or the universe, or what. Like, I don't believe that something is like really talking to me and funneling itself through me. I'm not a guru, or I'm not an authority of any kind, and I don't know why anybody would watch this, really, except maybe if they find my looks captivating. But I really haven't given you a whole lot to go on, except this Jackson Pollock painting in the background, and the title of which I'm not even familiar with. But I'm just kind of freestyling it. I like the symbolism of the tarot. I think it's a great way of exploring your consciousness and your personality and the world around you, because the symbolism, I think, is pretty universal. So yeah, we'll see what we get here. Could get some positive cards. We could get some negative cards. See the glare in my eyes. That's not that great. Sorry about that. And I don't know how long these videos are going to be. This is the first video. Right now my channel is called Gurley Vines, and it's just very basic. I was thinking of giving it a name like the Magical Diary of Gurley Vines, because, you know, this is me talking, you know, coming up with talking points on the fly based on symbols, and it will, you know, expose a lot about what I think about things. So from your perspective, you're coming from a clean slate with this dude. You don't know anything about me. I haven't been in any movies. I haven't been in any other YouTube videos. I haven't done anything. I have some talents, I think, but those will have to show themselves as I peel back the layers of my identity and who I am. Astrologically, I will say, I'm also into astrology. I'm very much into science. I consider myself a very logical person, but I'm not a religious person in any of the conventional religions. I do like symbolism. I do enjoy how I like playing with that as sort of a mind game that I play with my. Oh, battery is running low. How amateur of me. Brand new laptop, and I will have to be right back. Okay, so that was, I had to go find the plug. A loved one got this. My wife got this, and yeah, I don't know. This is my first time playing with this laptop, so I didn't even know where the battery symbol was. For somebody like symbolism, you think I'd recognize the battery symbol. I still don't know where it is. It doesn't say that it's charging or anything. It's one of these basic Asus laptops. Anyways, that's boring. Let's get to it. So, shuffling the cards. The tarot cards. The Thoth tarot cards, yes. I'm shuffling these cards. I'm mixing them up. See? Ooh, I'm really just shuffling them up. Just doing all this kind of, all sorts of randomness is being imbued into this deck. It's just, I'm imbuing the fuck out of it. I mean, can I do that on YouTube? Can I curse? I've seen a lot of other people curse on YouTube, but I know that they're like, you know, people are getting in trouble left and right for stuff they weren't getting in trouble for before. So I don't know. I better play it safe. You know, I don't like taking risks. I like taking risks. I do like taking risks. You just haven't seen that side of me yet, YouTube. I like to take risks. Okay. So 2 cards. First card. Boom. Whoa. It is the 4 of Wands. Pretty cool cards, pretty positive. 4 of Wands, you see that? Completion. Sun and Aries. It's got 4 wands. Well, actually, it's like 3 wands. 1 wand, 2 wand, 3 wands. No, it's 4 wands. And it's making a wheel. And they're like the spokes in this wheel. And it is the completion of a will. And the wands represent the will. The will in the individual. To do things, whatever it is they are compelled to do. Are you compelled to be active? Are you compelled to be lazy? Are you compelled to be scientific? Are you compelled to be poetic? What comes naturally to you? What are your natural talents? You know, if you're naturally lazy, maybe that's a weird way of look. That's not the best way of looking at it. Maybe you are naturally good at doing less athletic activities. Maybe you are good at doing YouTube videos, and that is your will. And once you get the idea to make a YouTube video, then that's the Ace of Wands, right? That's the beginning of the idea. And then the 2 of Wands would be the step in which you decide, I'm going to get a laptop and I'm going to make a YouTube video about tarot cards and what I think about things. And then the 3 of Wands is the going about making the YouTube video. That would be the stage that I'm in right now. And then the 4 of Wands, which is this, is the completion of the YouTube video. You've completed a however long this video is going to be, and then you can go run and tell your friends on Facebook, hey, I made this thing on YouTube, please watch it. And hopefully they celebrate it and they give you all sorts of likes, and they really like it. And then the 5 of Wands, which is strife, is whenever all the other YouTubers and the commenters start critiquing it and picking it apart, and other tarot YouTubers see you as competition, and it forces you to up your game, which I hope that happens. I hope that I go through all of the steps in life, because I just want to experience it all. I want to experience it all, YouTube. So give me everything you got. But this is the completion. This is like a celebration. This usually represents like weddings, get-togethers. You know, families represented celebrating having a child. graduations, completing a project. You finished a day of work and you go out with some friends and you celebrate that you're done with work. And so that's the first card. Okay. We'll go into this a little bit later. The second card is going to sort of help characterize exactly where my consciousness is going to go. Okay, so we got 4 of Wands, and then next, dun dun dun. Ooh, this is another positive card. This one right here is the 2 of Cups. I know it's hard to see with this grainy resolution that I have, but it's a pretty beautiful card. I actually thought about getting this as a tattoo. As girly as I am, and there's so many real masculine tarot cards in here. Actually, this one is more masculine because it's wands or rods or rudes or batons or whatever the hell whatever phallic symbol you want to throw out there. And cups are they are the opposite. They are the yoni. They're receptive. Receptacle. They are the receptacle, and they are filled with the wand's will. But so maybe that's not the best way of saying it. The wands represent the will and doing things, getting things done, and the cups represent emotion and feelings, and they stir the wands. They inspire the wands to do things. And the 2 of Cups, the 2s, so I should go into the numbers of each of these, right? So this is the 2 of Cups. It's called Love. And it's a very lovely card. I believe that this one is associated with Cancer to some degree. Mercury in Cancer. Is that right? No, that's Venus in Cancer. Venus in Cancer and the Sun and Mars. Cancer is a very nurturing, well, it can be a very nurturing, motherly, passionate type sign. And Aries is also a passionate type sign, but they're more outwardly passionate, where Cancer is more inwardly passionate and tenacious, maybe even more controlled because they're the crab. They have their armor up all the time. They tend to retreat into their shell. They don't fight the battle straight on. They tend to come at you from the side a little bit. But so these cards together, you have the wands and you have the cups. You have the male, you have the female. You got the 4s, you got the 2s. Okay? Now, the 4s in each suit, 4 is the number of balance. You got 4 corners, 4 sides of a square, which is a pretty balanced, solid shape. And the 4s in all of the suits, now you have the wands and you have the cups, and then you also have swords and you have the discs, or pentacles as they're called, and other decks. And where this is the will and this is the emotions, the swords are the intellect. And they're the most unforgiving of the suits because they deal with the mind. And arguably, all of our perception of reality is our reality in a lot of ways. I mean, so you have and then the discs is the reality, is the actual reality. But the swords is how you perceive it, and that is really important. And it's really easy because the mind is an organ of the body, and it's arguably your soul is your brain, what people call the soul. And you're always up against the trials and tribulations brought to you by your environment and your body, and how your body interacts with your environment. And that can cause a lot of stress in your mind. And since that's your perspective, it'll affect your will and it'll affect your emotions. And so the swords are very, very fragile in that way. And they tend to be pretty negative, especially in the Thoth deck. I'm going to set these down real quick. I'm going to get me this little sipper of coffee. Nice big slurp there. So, the fours. Let's discuss the number 4. I know I should probably do 2 first because it comes before 4, but I drew the 4 of wands first. So, the 4s and the wands, I've already said, is completion. Right? You're in the 4th stage of taking on a project or doing a thing. And the 4th stage is the completion of that endeavor, of that project. And it always feels good to complete something, no matter how poorly. Even this YouTube video, as grainy and shitty and off-center, and, you know, the sound, I'm sure, is horrible. The acoustics in this room probably really suck. My facial hair is all sparse and shitty. You probably want to be watching somebody beat themselves over the head with a hammer, or doing something grotesque, or twerking, or whatever the hell it is you kids are watching these days. You'd probably rather be watching something else. But for me, this is an accomplishment, right? For me to sit and talk to you on the camera and publish that. And so there's that sense of completion. In the cups, the 4 of cups, it takes on a different meaning. It's not as positive. The 4 of cups, so whenever you have stability in the emotional realm, it takes on a different meaning, because stability in the will means that you have completed making the table, right? You've put the 4 legs on the table, now it's a table, and you have made the table. But when you have 4 cups, and you think of emotions as being like fluid, as being like water, and because the cups are the symbols, right? And these cups have a stable, symmetrical, although the 2 of cups has a symmetry to it, it's still allowing the flow of the emotions. It's coming from the source of the emotions in the Ace of Cups, which the aces are always like the beginning of anything, and they tend to be pretty positive, because beginnings are, you haven't had a chance to fuck up yet. So beginnings tend to be pretty positive. And then the 2s are usually pretty, they're usually pretty neutral, right? It's like you got up and now you're putting your socks on, you're getting things going. And with the 2 of cups, you are, it takes on a really positive connotation, because the beginning of cups, the beginning of an emotion, is, so in the cups, and not any emotion, but the beginning of a loving, compassionate emotion, and so this is all coming to me as I'm saying it, okay? I haven't planned this out. So it's not just dealing with any emotion, because later on the emotions can get darker as you progress along the Suit of Cups. But in the beginning, the emotions are like childlike and innocent, and there's a wonderment and curiosity about things. There's a joy that comes from the beginning of emotions, right? You're not jaded and calloused yet, which can happen further on down the line in the cups, as other influences muddy the waters of your joy. So in the beginning, you have this, in the Ace of Cups, you have a wellspring of 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 joy, and then in the Two of Cups, you are able to share that joy with another person, and it's the two implies a reciprocation, a give and take of that initial joy that you experience. But the four, if this were the Four of Cups, so there's a reciprocation in the two, and then in the Three of Cups, it's kind of like the Four of Wands. It represents like multiple people, and you're sharing that love with multiple people. And the Three of Cups usually denotes friendship, because it's like multiple people, unless there's like some sort of polyamorous, polygamous, whatever thing going on. But usually it denotes friendship. And I think what's implied by that is that most people have a heart. You always have a favorite person. You always have somebody that you're gonna like more than other people, that you prefer to be around more than others. Even if you have multiple, you got a stable of lovers. You're always going to have that person that's your go-to person, and you're going to give them more of your cup than other people. This is, life's not fair that way. But in the Three of Cups, it denotes like a friendship and, an abundance. It's in the Thoth deck, the Three of Cups is abundance. In the Four of Cups, it's like four's a crowd, like three's company. Three's a party, and everybody's having a good time. But like the Four of Cups is like there's another cup, and he's like begging for alms. Please give me attention. And the person is already tending to the Three Cups. They're already happy with their social circle, and they don't want that extra cup to come in. And that is what the four is for the cups. For the swords, I'm not even going to go into that. That's a whole different video. I'm going to focus on what these cards mean. I think you get the idea. So there's the two cards, Four of Wands, Two of Cups. The completion of a project crossed with reciprocation of that initial wellspring of love, of the honeymoon period being reciprocated. A celebration of love. That is a very pretty picture to celebrate with other people. So that is like, I recently had an anniversary. Married for 7 years. It's pretty cool stuff, Not everybody experiences that. I consider myself very lucky. As a matter of fact, I think luck dictates everything. I'm a determinist. I don't, talk about will and all that, but I don't believe in free will. And I think that I stumbled upon a very fortunate situation with my wife. And we recently celebrated. um, love. You might hear my dog in the background barking because he hears neighbors, and he sort of faintly barks because he's taking a nap right now, and it sort of disturbs his dreams. He's probably dreaming about going for a walk, or chasing a squirrel or something like that. And I'd hate to be woken up from a good dream. But so these are two very positive cards, and if I were to connect it to things I've already said, that I've experienced that in my life, I've reached that milestone, and it's not like it's an accomplishment. I think that it's not like something that is reflective of. Well, I guess it could be reflective of skill. To be able to maintain a relationship with somebody. Now, sometimes you can maintain relationships for the wrong reasons, and but those relationships will always be bad, even if they're still intact and people are still living together and with each other, and they have to deal with each other. It doesn't mean it's going to be a happy one. And I consider my relationship to be happy. It does sustain me, and it's very, it's very uplifting. When I look in the world around me, I feel like I'm not sure the longevity of relationships is, and as far as a lot of people that I know, and that I've encountered, there are definitely people. I have known people, they have long relationships, and this isn't a competition. I don't think that I'm superior. I think that you can be somebody that you don't have to be in a relationship, and you can be solitary, or you can have like lots of friends that you just hook up with, or you can have people, however you want to love people, whatever. That's fine. It's not a competition. But I feel like I have not seen the longevity in relationships with people lately. And I know this is a topic that has been beaten to death, probably since early 2000s, or no, probably around like 2008, when the internet was just really starting to become viral as a technology, with people getting smartphones and all that kind of stuff, and getting their own YouTube channels, and opting for communication via technology, hooking up via technology. I feel like, in my opinion, it has stunted the ability of people to, one, initiate and engage in substantial types of interactions that would facilitate having a meaningful relationship with somebody. And two, I feel like people can't be bothered to endure the ups and downs of a relationship, because people are sloppy and messy, and I just feel like the threshold for that has become limited with a lot of people. And maybe I'm just an old fogey with and having that perspective, and maybe I'm also kind of isolated in my own little married world. But I feel like I see people just sort of chucking people after they've met their use. And it's not everybody. It's not everybody. But I think that the impersonal, you can really be expressive via the internet, and you can talk to people and have your fans and all that kind of stuff. But I think there is a tendency to sort of put on a show. And of course, because you're trying to entertain, that's the only reason people will watch you. And you're like, hey, if you, like this program, then please click the link to the side and hit like down here and do this thing over there and do it there, and that's kind of, I don't know, I guess you can have fans, and I think people want to have fans more than they want to have friends or have real relationships with people. And I think that in order for people to get the fans and get that kind of admiration, they have to sort of be phony, and they have to do things that don't attract negative attention. You don't want to attract trolls, and you don't want people to iggy you. Like on Facebook, you don't want to say things that won't be liked. You want to be liked. That's why you're on social media. That's why you put yourself out there like that. Because if you didn't care, you wouldn't be on there. I've seen people, they're like, oh, I just have a Facebook account, or if you're on YouTube, you're doing it to be liked. If you're on Facebook, I hear people say they just do it for photos or keeping in touch with people. But if you wanted to keep in touch with people and share photos, you could you could just talk, have a relationship with somebody. You could just call somebody and mail them. I know that or email them. Even email is more personable than posting something on a forum as a catch-all for anybody and everybody to put their 2 cents on. And so there's definitely an attention-seeking aspect to that. And I feel like that has interfered with our ability to reciprocate, because the interface of love is not fluid through a computer screen. There's people will probably comment on this and say a bunch of shit. They might say good shit, they might say bad shit, and whatever. It's attention to me, and my narcissism will just gobble it up. But there's not really a fluid banter. That there's not like, I don't know you guys don't really know me. You only know what I'm showing you, and that's not really conducive to like a real relationship. And so, like, same with Facebook. If you just primarily interact, a lot of people do interact. They have their little circle of friends, their real friends, right? They show this stuff to. But then on Facebook, if you get in the habit of communicating with people via Facebook, or you substitute, you call somebody your friend, but really you just talk to them via Facebook, then you're sort of confusing the language of what a real relationship is. And then I think that if you get in that habit of being like, oh, this person's my friend, but you just talk to them on Facebook, so you don't have that real interface, then I think that you're going to get in the habit of treating everybody that way. And then your online persona will become your real persona, because the stuff that you invest a lot of time into will eventually become who you are. And so that's why you hear these terms called ghosting, where people, they just suddenly, because on the internet you can just sort of just excuse yourself from a situation that is so awkward, which awkward is my least favorite word. Like, there's so many situations that people call awkward that's really like, if that's your definition of awkward, then everything is awkward. Me stumbling just now was awkward, or me not doing exactly what you expect is awkward, and that's like a really impossible standard. It's like everybody just has to be totally manicured and cool and rehearsed. And hey, this is Gurley Vines, and I'm here to show you a good time. And that was like, yeah, you know what? That's confidence, and that's positive. And I'm positive that he's being confident right now, and I don't get any awkwardness from that at all. But that's not how people are. So my point is that I feel like a lot of people, not everybody, but I feel like a common misconception that people have about how to interact with other people is broken. It's a misconception, so it's implied that it's broken. But I feel like the people's concept of how to interact with other people and how other people should be is broken because of the internet, and technology, and it has given us an excuse to just avoid things, just avoid the awkwardness of just interacting with each other. And so, because we can't reciprocate sincerely love, then there's no completion. There's no completion here. And also, because we can't complete, we can't love. And they feed into one another, see? You got to be able to have this wellspring, this ever-flowing fountain of love in order to have a inner completion, and that inner completion will help you complete things that are fulfilling to you, instead of getting caught in ruts and caught into the hubbub and the mundane existence of trying to fit in. Just simply fit in and get your likes and get your shares and retweet me and blah 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 blah, instead of just doing your will, which is what is fulfilling, regardless of whether you're popular or what have you. You're doing it with love. There's a true interface, which could possibly be achieved through the internet. Yeah, I got some weird thing, some message on the computer. I don't understand these computers. They're fucking the game up. They're fucking up love. They're fucking up our sense of completion. And we need to get that back. And I'm not helping. I'm getting on the internet. I'm wanting you guys to have that phony relationship with me. Maybe some of you people, there might be in the future some kind of realness. Maybe I can, who knows? Who knows what the future holds? Maybe my mind will change. I just kind of riffed this on the fly. I got these 2 cards, and this is what I got from them. I'm almost at the 45-minute mark. I think I'm going to stop there. I think this was a pretty good demo. This is kind of the gist of what's going on with this YouTube show. Thank you for watching Gurley Vines talk about tarot. You all have a wonderful day. Now I'm going to awkwardly turn it off. Oh, it was awkward. There's a little silence between me pressing the button. Oh, goodness.